Welcome to part 2 of finding the missing angle. So today we're going to find the missing angles. Not even going to be in a triangle this time. We're going to be outside the triangle. We're going to be mostly dealing with straight lines, which might as well be in a triangle because it's 180 degrees. So again, find the missing angle. So first, I'm going to set up two lines here, and I'm going to put that little box. That little box is going to tell us a lot. Okay. First of all, it tells us the two lines are, and here's the word, perpendicular. Now, what does that mean? It means they meet at a right angle, so 90 degrees. Okay, so two lines are perpendicular anytime you see that little box, okay? And that means that they're at a right angle to one another and they are exactly 90 degrees. So now I can find x, I can find a variable there, and then I can really throw myself a curveball and split this one into two angles, one of 60 degrees, and I'll find another variable here, a different one, a y. Well, couple of things here. We can find either variable in either order this time, but I know me, I like to go alphabetically. It just seems that's, why do we create an alphabet if we're going to ignore it? I like to go alphabetically. So let's look at the x. So we've got ourselves a straight line right here, and that straight line has to equal 180 degrees. Well, x is part of it, that box is part of it, and that has to equal 180 degrees. Well, that seems pretty easy. That only would work if the x were also 90 degrees. That seems nice and easy. Okay? And it, obviously not that it matters. I mean, if that number had been anything else, we would have subtracted it. So we would have been pretty easy, pretty one step. Now the y value we can find a couple of different ways. We have ourselves a straight line right here, and we have x, which we just found, so we could use it, plus the 60 plus the y has to be that straight line. So now we've cut a line into three pieces, which is still supplementary. They still all add up to 180, but now I have three values. I also have vertical angles here, opposite sides of an x. They have to be equal. So this side of the x, which is the y plus 60, has to be equal to the 90. Okay, so either way, we're going to be able to figure this out. In fact, why don't we say, we know x is 90, so how about y plus 60 plus 90 is 180 degrees. When we subtract the 90, I'm not going to combine the like terms this time, I'm going to subtract the 90. I get the y plus 60 equals 90. And you can see, now we're back to what I just said a moment ago, that this vertical angle, this two, have to equal 90. And there we are. And now we can subtract the 60. And y has to be 30 degrees. So there's more than one way to approach these, especially the more you know, the more options you have for how to solve. You could have used what you know about straight angles. You could use what you know about vertical angles. Okay? So that's the first of the finding the missing angle. Second one, speaking of that little box, because we've got ourselves a little box right here, so we have ourselves a 90-degree angle, which we're going to cut into two pieces. Not exactly, so this one's 40 degrees, and this one is 2x minus 10 degrees. So now we're trying to figure out what value of x would make this the right amount of degrees to add to 40 to make 90 degrees. In other words, what value of x will make the angle complementary? Remember, complementary adds up to 90, supplementary adds up to 180. So now we're just going to solve. We have 2x minus 10, that's this angle, plus the 40-degree angle, and that has to now equal 90 degrees, because that has to equal that little box. That's what it means. So negative 10 and 40 would be 30, positive 30, and we subtract that from, getting ahead of myself there, from the 90, 2x equaling 60, and divide by 2, and x would have to be 30 degrees. x would have to be 30 degrees to make that, 2 times 30 would be 60, minus 10 would be 50. 50 degrees plus 40 degrees would in fact equal the 90-degree right angle that we have there. So here we solved for complementary angles, and up here we were solving for supplementary angles. Okay, now remember, you can always pause the video, rewind, watch it again if you have some other questions. And if you have questions, remember, you can always see me in office hours or email me, and specific questions. But I need to erase this so I have some room to do the next problem on. And there's one more I want to go through. And this is really important because one of the things that really comes out of this is how to name an angle. That's something that seems to be a little confusing. So first we're going to start with a straight line. Okay, but we're going to cut that straight line into multiple pieces. So first we're going to cut it here. That's going to get us this 90-degree angle. Then we're going to cut it here, and that's going to get us 2 more angles. Now, how do I talk to you about these angles? Well, let's start naming parts of this line. Here's A. I'm going to call this one B. Go down here to C. Right here at the middle, we're going to call it D. And then this line is E. And then the question comes, well, what if I want to talk to you about this angle right here? Can I just say angle D? I really can't, because how couldn't angle D be this 90-degree angle? Couldn't angle D just be this part right here? Couldn't it be some combination? How do I know? Well, when you're naming an angle and you have more than one possibility, you need to give it 3-letter designation. And that 3 letters are a starting, a midpoint, and an endpoint. So if I want to talk about this part right here, that would be angle, start here at B, come down here to D, and finish here at E. That's the angle that's missing. That's the angle with the variable that I want to know about. But we're going to 2x, because we want to make that one x. Really want to throw a curve at you. Now it's all kinds of variables. So B, D, E, that's 2x minus 9. How do I talk about the angle that's x? Well, that would be angle, start here at E, come down here to D, and finish out here to C. Those are the 2 angles that we want to look at. So I use these designations because otherwise I don't have a way for you to know exactly which one I'm talking about. But now that I do, I want to solve for x. I got multiple x's. They have to, same variable, have to represent the same value. So, x plus 2x minus 9 plus the box has to equal this straight line of 180 degrees, which we would call angle ADC. I know that's weird, calling that an angle. It's a straight line, but that's what we would call it if we wanted to talk about it. And now we're going to solve for x. Okay, so I combine my like terms here. I combine my like terms here. Subtract the 81. Divide by 3, and x equals 33. And that's, again, that's not the angles, that's the number of degrees that they would have to be to make them turn out to be the right measurements. If you were asked to figure out what the angles were, you would know, well, hey, x is 33 degrees, because we just found that, but this one is 2 times 33 minus 9, so 66 minus 9 would be 57. 57 plus 33 do in fact add up to 90, which gives us our final measurements. Hopefully that helps you with tonight's homework and tomorrow's homework and whenever you get around to it homework. Again, send it to me through Jupyter, and if you have questions, come to the office hours or send me an email. I will answer both at the same time. This is Mr. Mack signing off. Good night.